I did a meat-only diet for the past 253 days, and this is where I started at. I started off at 32 years old, 360 pounds, having to use a rollator walker just to get around because I had such severe back pain. I had 16 different comorbidities, including type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, the list kind of went on and on. Here's a quick peek of kind of where I started when I started my YouTube channel. I have, from about the age of 12, done every kind of diet you could ever imagine. High carb, low carb, high fat, low fat, whole foods, you name it, I've done it. When I say a meat-only diet, what I really mean is any type of meat: beef, fish, chicken, eggs. I personally chose to add dairy, so just heavy cream and hard cheeses. This does not include any vegetables or any kinds of fruit. I'll talk a little bit later of why I do not eat them. In this video, I'm going to address why I chose to do carnivore over anything else, what's changed for my activity, and what's changed for my overall health. Before we get too far into the video, I want to thank LMNT Electrolyte Mix for sponsoring this video. That's LMNT. I personally like to drink the raw, unflavored LMNT. I'm actually in the middle of a fast right now. I'm about 40 hours in, and what I do is I drink at least 1 packet a day and a liter of water to make sure that I'm getting my sodium and things. This is great because it has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium, which I need because I'm not getting it any other way right now during my fast. It also helps prevent headaches, cramps, fatigue, and sleepiness that comes along with any electrolyte deficiencies. And my favorite thing about this is I have autoimmune issues, and it doesn't have any sugar, coloring, artificial ingredients, gluten, or fillers in it, which works great because I'm so sensitive to things. Right now, LMNT's offering an 8-pack sample pack free with any purchase. This is awesome because then you can get all the flavors to try out and see what you will like. You just need to go to drinklmnt.com/carnivorousme. That's drinklmnt.com/carnivorousme. One of the #1 questions I get asked is, why do carnivore? Well, now I can say because it works is why I continue to do carnivore. But the reason I started it is I've done things all the way from organic veganism to the Whole30 to eating white boiled potatoes. None of those diets made me address the fact that I am a sugar and carb addict. We don't give alcoholics a little bit of alcohol because they binge. Well, I'm a binge eater. I can't have a little bit of sugar or carbohydrates. I go crazy and I binge on the food. Now, with that being said, if someone's great at moderation, this may not exactly be for you, but for binge eating, I have found it has completely changed my view of food. The second reason is I have autoimmune issues. I have a lot of allergies. I just discovered regular, like from the grocery store cinnamon, I have a skin reaction to. This is an elimination diet, remove as much as I can from my diet so I can really figure out what's bothering me, get my weight down, get my body's inflammation down, and then maybe at some point down the road when everything's calmed down, I can try to put things back in my diet. But I'm also at the point that because I have so many autoimmune issues, I may never be able to go back. But that's a problem for down the road. So this means I have no vegetables. I have no fruit. The reason is vegetables have oxalates in them, which are inflammatory. Having an autoimmune issue, plus being morbidly obese, plus then eating things I'm allergic to, they kind of compound and make everything worse for me. So that's why I do no vegetables. And before anybody asks, I do not have a problem going to the bathroom without any fiber. The key I found was drinking enough water, eating enough fat, no problems. And I eat no fruit because I was a type 2 diabetic. I could easily sit and eat an entire watermelon. I know that sounds crazy, but I absolutely could. I needed to abstain from all the sugars. This is actually what helped me improve my insulin sensitivity, and at this point in time, I can tell you, I have reversed my type 2 diabetes. So what's changed? Let's talk about my activity first. When I started this, actually for a few years, it had been to the point where I wasn't leaving the house for months at a time. I had such severe anxiety. I was severely depressed where I didn't hardly move at all. We live in a 3-story house, and there are some days I wouldn't even walk my butt down to the middle floor. I'd stay on one floor the entire day. I wasn't walking my dogs. I was hardly moving. I had to use a walker because my back pain was so severe that I could only walk a few hundred feet before I had to sit down. I remember vividly standing at the kitchen sink my second week into carnivore, leaning on the sink, sweating profusely like I had just run a 5K, doing the dishes. I look back at that and I'm just like, wow, what shape I was in. And I mean like poor shape, obviously. For those new to my channel, let's kind of take a peek back at where I started and how things have progressed until now. Yesterday, I was able to go into the mall, out of the mall, into Lowe's, out of Lowe's, walk around, do some shopping, and I did not have to use my walker. That feels so liberating. Now that we've seen the huge changes in activity, what about my health? Well, I can tell you, as of today, I have lost 79.75 inches off my entire body. That's more inches than I am tall that I've lost from my width of my body, which is crazy to me. And here is a visual, for those who are more visual about it, of where I started and where I currently am right now. I went from 16 comorbidities to now 5. I am no longer a type 2 diabetic. I no longer suffer from GERD. I no longer have sleep apnea. It got so bad that what would happen is if I laid flat, I would aspirate, so I'd literally choke on my own vomit, sit up, and then my air passageway would close, so I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking I was literally suffocating to death because that's how it felt. I don't experience that at all anymore. As far as my blood work goes, let's take a look at that real quick. My ALT liver enzyme was at 55, so high. It is now 29, which is considered normal. My triglycerides started off at a whopping 343. As of the middle of January, they are down to 106. And last, my glucose. I check it intermittently now, but as of the end of last year, my average glucose is 73. I am no longer a diabetic, so whoop whoop. If you want to see more specifics for lab tests, just go to carnivorousmeat.com and I have it all listed there. Last but not least, I have now lost 101 pounds in 253 days, which is less than 9 months. And the reason I mention that is because I realized I was counting a month at every 4 weeks. But February is the only month that has only 4 weeks. Trying to be consistent because I started on a Tuesday on the June 28th, 2022. And I just didn't think ahead. So really, the 28th of this month will be my 9 month. So in 8.5 months, I've lost 101 pounds. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you. This is not just my journey, but our journey together. And the more people that we can reach, the more people we can let them know that they're not alone. The struggle is there, but there is always a way out. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. We just gonna wing the heck out of this.
Love it when a plan comes to something.
Winging it. All right, restart. Why did you start the camera?